Hi everyone, I'm Anisha Muradian and I'm here to talk to you about a new concept for Bumble called self-love. Let's start this off with a little story. I met my now boyfriend 2 years ago in the middle of the pandemic through Bumble. I had spent a good amount of time right before that really focusing on myself. I was doing yoga, I was meditating, I was really in a mindset of I don't need anyone, and I was really enjoying just finally understanding all the different parts of myself. And I was finally at a point where I truly loved who I was. And in a way, without realizing, it prepared me for love. Let's paint a picture. 18.4% of the United States population is on dating apps, and 35 million Americans are expected to use dating apps by 2024. That's a huge difference from where we were at several years ago. Of that 18.4 percentage, only 1.8 million Bumble downloads as of January 2021. Tinder and Badoo, which is an international brand, are the only two that are higher globally, but Bumble still has room to grow. To really set the tone here, dating apps are not all the same, and Bumble has tried to differentiate themselves from other dating apps, but there is a challenge there. They haven't done it quite as seamlessly as they could have. So Bumble now, it was created to take a feminist approach of dating apps, and the purpose of the app is to put the power in the women's hands, and they are the ones who can initiate the conversation. Now, as great as that is, everything else about the app is identical to their competition. So Tinder, Hinge, etc. The product itself really looks so similar. So Bumble has been able to differentiate themselves in the fact that the women are initiating, but nothing else has followed that. And so they seem to get lumped in with other dating apps. And so people, when they're against dating apps, they lump Bumble into that. And women don't really see much different, and therefore they don't go out of their way to seek out Bumble. So I'm proposing a product update, and I do believe that they need to start the app off with a self-love assessment. So when you register, you take this quiz and it shows you the gaps. It shows you where you can improve. It shows you what you need to really work on within yourself in order to make sure you love yourself and not just jump on the dating app in order to seek someone for validation, to make you feel good, just to fill the void from a previous relationship. And so this will really shift, and it'll make Bumble so powerful in empowering women overall, making them confident, making them feel good, making them sure and secure that they are enough. And this will be unique because dating apps have really started to feel like an easy way for you to just find the next swipe and the next person. But at the core, people want to find love. And this is a true way to guarantee that you would be successful. So the whole point is to be, no pun intended, yourself. The objectives are to change attitudes, show core values, differentiate the brand image. And for the change attitudes, it's to show that it's different from other apps, one that can help you love yourself and find love. And for the core values, it's giving women the power, helping them find love, and promoting confidence, everything we just talked about in the slide prior. And differentiated brand image is to promote self-love and female empowerment. And other dating apps do not do that, nor do they claim to, and they need to identify themselves as different. So here we go into the theories. Social judgment theory and Monroe's motivated sequence are really what defined the approach for this campaign. And so with social judgment theory will make the campaign more effective ultimately, because influencer endorsement and shared experience are what will make this campaign relatable and will resonate with the audience. Millennial women to millennial women, likability, relatability, single women or women who have successfully found partners on Bumble. The social judgment theory really enforces that. And besides that, Monroe's motivated sequence, the 5 steps here apply beautifully. Get attention, establish the need, satisfy the need, visualize the future, action and actualization. You're getting the millennial women's attention. You're establishing why they need this app, why they need to love themselves. You're satisfying that by giving them the tools to do so, visualizing the future by looking for partners, and then the action and actualization is loving yourself and finding someone to love. Now let's talk about the big idea, self-love. That's it. 2 words. It's simple. And an app that empowers women to make the first move is what the slogan currently is finally empowering women to love themselves first. Stop making it feel like finding the man is the goal. Finding you and loving you is the goal in order to then see what value you're bringing. And that's when you will not be willing to accept mediocre love. And there's so much pressure on millennial women to find the one. It's time an app finally helps them build the confidence to be themselves and love themselves before meeting Mr. Right. Now, the key here is to bring the idea to life, probably the hardest part, but you'll see here the breakdown, and I won't go line by line to go through all the details, but the product updates, as we talked about, the quiz, the influencer endorsement, which is where we're getting women to talk to women. We're getting the audience to pay attention to people who are like them. Heavy social presence due to the audience, which we'll dive deeper into. Female hosted podcasts, which we'll also dive deeper into. TV and digital presence, really want to have a full scope. You want to be able to have a presence on all the main shows. And then billboards in metropolitan cities. We know there's a lot of millennial women who are hardworking that are living in metropolitan cities that have kind of put finding love on the back burner and sometimes themselves on the back burner. And the brand and event workshop, this is where we can bring people together to talk to millennial women about self-love, body positivity, confidence, and how to boost that within themselves. So the primary audience is millennial women. That's who we're talking to. And the secondary audience is Gen Z women. But Gen Z women have kind of been encouraged more to be confident and love themselves as they are. Millennial women grew up a little bit different. So millennial women are persuaded by their own morals, beliefs, and preferences. Therefore, it's really important here to use the persuasion method of liking. And they need to receive the messages from people that they like and also relate to. And a personal approach is key in reaching this audience. They're less bought into the concept of dating apps. There are more millennial men on these dating apps, and Bumble really needs to shift this negative mental health space as women go into dating apps to something more positive and something that's going to make them believe that Bumble could impact them in a positive way. And we'll jump into the campaign elements. All right, so let's talk about the messages and the strategies behind the messages. The messages are meant to be very positive. We are evoking positive emotion, good values, and showing women what they are worthy of. Self-love is the best love. Love yourself first. You are enough. Be yourself. That's a play on Bumble itself. And so this is where we're really trying to influence our target audience with emotion, positive emotion, and showing them that they are valuable. So we hear about influencer marketing all the time, but I think it's really important to show how influencer integration is important here. So if we talk about Cialdini's persuasion principle, liking, it's really, really key to get likable influencers to show women that they are also doing this. So I propose that we would have these three from Los Angeles, New York, and Miami, TikTok stars and heavy presence on Instagram as well, really talk to their audience, the millennial women, about their experiences dating. And they already do it, but they need to have an endorsement with Bumble in order to show them these new features. And with their following on a grand scale like Tinks and on a smaller scale like Dara and Nicole, this is really possible and a really, really great way to motivate women to register and love themselves and take those quizzes to identify the gaps and where they can be better and have more confidence. This here is just an example of how the conversation is already happening. So here on TikTok, you will see that Nicole is talking about all the Bumble dates she went on, her Bumble profile, and she even has a dating playlist on her TikTok. And then there's another woman, Rika, whose video went viral, who she talks about how she found love on Bumble and engages fans to talk about when they also met their love on Bumble. The platforms, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but social, podcast, TV, and streaming. This is where you really want to see the thick of where you can reach millennial women. On social, the primary would be YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And it's really just based off data and how many millennial women are on these platforms. It used to only be YouTube and Instagram, but now TikTok is starting to really grasp that millennial audience. Plus, we want to touch a little bit of Gen Z, and that's where we'll find them. Podcasts that are female hosted, female led, talk about dating experiences, wonderful. TV and streaming, really like talk shows and live television, and really like conversations where you can engage and talk about dating. In conclusion, The focus is on finding love should be fun and an exciting process. It's not one that makes you insecure and doubt yourself. And this is where Bumble comes in and shifts that narrative about dating apps. Women do not trust dating apps in the way that millennial men do, but they should. And that's how Bumble will come in, and that's how they will influence them. Bumble should create a product update that focuses on showing women the areas that they can improve and work on in order to love themselves. And it's important to launch this product, and it's important to have really a wide array of media coverage and partnerships with shows and podcasts and influencers. And this campaign will hopefully shift the negative image of dating apps. And I'll leave you off with this quote: "To fall in love with yourself is the first secret to happiness," by Robert Morley. And just to quickly run you guys through my references. Thank you so much. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I know we've learned a ton in this class, so it's really hard to encompass that in 6 to 8 minutes, but I hope you all find love within yourselves and outside.